We come here to experience growth and different challenges. And I think, the audience here, the crowd here know about that stuff. This is nothing new. It's really how do we do it? Here we are in Hawaii on the Big Island, literally in the breath of transformation, in the VOG. Pele is about transformation, about new growth, about burning, cutting the old out the way. And we are in her breath. So how can we not feel it? How can we not be part of it? And I think our challenge here is how do each of us embrace that? Because the ride is pretty wild. We're being invited to accelerate the learning, to accelerate the acceptance, to accelerate letting go, accelerate finding freedom. It's that kind of stuff. And, I'm the first to complain, I can't even see the view this morning. I can't even see the water. And, this is so bad. But is that what it's really about? So on this model here, going to that, and this was given to me by Spirit, because on this, I'm an engineer at heart, so I love models, but they're normally like, linear things. And as we know, this journey is not linear. It's a circular, it's all over the place, a spiritual journey. And how does one actually take that information and put it into a linear process? So like in a book format, it's always linear from page 1 to whatever it is. We go through a linear process. And the mind seems to operate in that way. So I was given this here, and what it's saying, basically there's two axes. This one here, the vertical axis, it's called soul energy. That is us in how well integrated with who we are, with the I am. And the I am up here, that full integration, is we come in at that soul level, fully being a spiritual being, the spiritual self. And at some point in time, we end up in the separation. And we'll explore what that means. So on the one hand, we've got separation from the I am, and that sense of emptiness and hollowness and detachment and what's life about? And versus the integration of the pure spirit, call it soul energy. On the horizontal axis, I call society's expectations. And certainly in the Piscean era we've come from, it's all around conformance, compliance, rules, regulations. If you don't do this, you're in trouble. And we see how incarceration levels are going up, and it's like, wow, what are we really living in here? The other side here is that independence and liberation. It's really independence and liberation, not from having to conform, but from feeling the restrictions of having to conform. It's what I call that space of healthy ambivalence. That, okay, there's rules. Some rules are good. We all drive on the same side of the road. That's actually quite useful. So conformance there is actually not a bad thing, because that's the way I stay alive. The I am can actually exist if we stay on the same side of the road. But other conformance and compliance issues, the issue very close to us is around same-sex marriage. You shall not do this. That's bad. That's just conforming and complying to some man-made rules and structures there. So we'll look at that. So that's where you've really got the 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll go through what they are. This orange dotted line here is, excuse me, I got my stick-ons. If I don't drop them all now because I'm on this side. This here we call the axis of control. Okay, so if you think of it, down here, when you're conforming and complying to what society expects of you, and some of you said that that's the opposite of liberation or freedom, and you're feeling separated from your soul aspect, your soul self. If you can get the masses down here, you've got full control over them. And you're seeing the social engineering taking place. We're seeing what's happening in the world absolutely as we speak, what's going on. And people are saying, no, I don't want to be there. I want to be free. I want that independence and liberation of thought and feeling. I want to get back to the spiritual self of who I truly am. Freedom's up there. Okay? So when we're in that place down there, we find ourselves in a place of meaninglessness. Oops. Okay. So down here, this separation, where's the sense of meaning? We get up in the morning, we go to work, we do what we have to do, we earn some dough, we pay our taxes. That gentleman from New Zealand, the good Kiwi there, freedom is not paying taxes. Okay, all right. So, and we spent 15 years in Sydney, so we love New Zealand as well. And so the opposite of that, what would the opposite of meaninglessness be there? What would you find up there? Meaning? Yep. Purpose. Yay. This is a good class. So up there's purpose. You know, that lovely Hawaiian word, kuleana. What's our purpose? We can only find our kuleana when we're in sync with who we are, with the soul aspect, with the soul energy. We find our kuleana. The rest is just under conformance and compliance, meaninglessness, complying to rules and regulations. So what keeps us? What's the energy associated with this compliance and conformance? And we're seeing it at the moment.
Fear.
Yeah. See, this is all. We already know this stuff, as we said. So we've got fear sitting there. And the fear of being locked in there. And we're seeing the rhetoric is being ramped up more and more and more, fear-based rhetoric, resulting in this meaningless existence, this control down here. And what happens to get here? What do we need to do to get there? Well, courage. So we need the courage to break free from this lot. Yeah, so we have courage there. And that's what we're being called to do today, to step into our own space with courage. Okay, so let's just journey through this a little bit now. I say outside this model, in the environment of, or the energy of possibilities, is preconception. We at a soul level make a decision. I want to come to the dense realm of planet Earth, this incredible accelerated school of learning in this dense physical body, to go through some soul evolution. I hunt around. Who's going to be my mum? Who's going to be my dad? Or my adopted parents, or my ohana? And we look and we look and we look, and we eventually choose very wisely for the best evolution of all. We may not like it when we get here, thought we might have made a different decision, but in the soul level we choose very wisely. The same concept, and I write about it in the book, is around sexual orientation comes out as well. And the feeling I get in working with the guides, which I work with a lot, is at that level, that is still a choice. I'm going to come in with a sexual energy body, the sexual orientation. I'm going to make that choice, the soul energy, because of the evolution that goes with that. However, once conception takes place, whoa, we're now locked in with those choices. We can't suddenly say, well, look, I don't really want to be this person anymore, I want to be that person. I don't want to be a Hawaiian, I want to be a Mexican, or whatever. We've made these choices. So when we come in now, and I say we come in here, conception takes place. Immediately, we then start moving this way. We start moving to a place of conformance and compliance. It's really more important to keep this little 1-year-old alive, and 2-year-old alive, 3-year-old alive, than to worry about its liberation and independence. So parents start controlling it. We learn very quickly as an individual that I better start complying. I better start conforming. I better learn how to please my caregivers. You know, if I scream and yell, I might not get fed and I might get a smack. It's not very nice. So I learn to conform, and eventually we start fitting in with society's expectations of us as we get down here. All right? And then something very big happens here, about 4 to 5 years old, and I'll go into this afternoon's workshop. I haven't got time to do it in a short time here. And there's a whole lot of mythology around this. There's Plato writes about it. There's a whole lot of people try and write, but something happens here is that a part of us splits off. The how is unclear, you know, that concept of the known, the unknown, and the unknowable. That's part of the Toltec teachings. It's kind of part of the unknowable there. Why it splits off, we understand that. Because when something splits off, it's that soul aspect, the soul energy, we get separated from either through distraction, shiny new objects. It sets us up for a lifelong search for our soulmate, our soul partner. But in this split here, we actually forget it's a part of us that we're missing. It's part of our soul energy we're looking for. It's not out there. But we don't know that. We're so distracted. So we spend our lives looking out there for my soulmate, for my soul partner. And in my search out there, I fall in love, thinking, my goodness, you're going to make me feel absolutely perfect about me. It's all about me feeling perfect about me. Not for once I worry about what you want to feel like, because I'm searching for something I'm missing. I'm feeling very vulnerable. And at 4 to 5 year old, that something happens around there. And with that, they start dropping in. That separation takes place from the I am. So we go through our difficult teenage years. We're bucking up against conformity compliance. We're fighting that. We're starting to get more and more meaningless. Our existence, we form different tribes, different gangs. We're looking for some sense of, where do I fit into this place? What's going on here? And because of the separation from soul energy, that soul self, we try and find that within church groups, within religions, within gangs, within tribes. So anything to give a sense of meaning. Not for once thinking it's outside of us. It's inside of us. Over here, a big one, of course, is formalized religion. Really, really feeds off that. And they help you feel really sorry for yourself. Okay, so one's absolutely entrenched in here. The only way you can get back through to the I am is through me. And we are fully in the axis of control. We've dropped into that place of someone's claiming ownership of our soul or control of our soul to get through there, and it usually costs a lot of money to get there, back there. We know what the wealthiest organization on the planet is. And then we're into conformity compliance. So we end up down here in our late teens, early 20s, and we get stuck there. We actually get stuck there because everything is engineered and co-conspired to keep us in conformity compliance and separation from that soul aspect, that real who we are. This audience here understands that. We've done a lot of work, all of us, getting out of this space. But the majority of people are still stuck here. We know who they are. And our challenge as people working in this space is not to judge them for being there, but to say, how can we support them? Not in a patronizing way, but in a supportive way, saying, how can you journey out of it? Something happens here. We hit a point of crisis. We don't like it, can't stand it. However, we carry on this way round. Here we end up with my next piece of paper. Cool. At some point, we want to be seen in this meaningless world. We do something to be seen. I can't stand this meaningless world. I want to go and create something. Dare I say it, I want to become the President of the United States. Okay? It's that see me, I need to be seen. But that's carrying the baggage with us. The see me is actually, I don't need you from outside to see me, I need the inside to see me. Because it doesn't matter how much I ask you to see me, unless the inside is recognizing who I am and seeing who I am from the inside. I might get a little high. Oh, this is nice, you've seen me, acknowledge me, I feel very nicely stroked. But it wears off because that's not where I need to be seen from. So I go and find someone else to suck energy out of to be seen. Someone else to make me feel good about myself. The separation here, meaninglessness. So I look for shiny object after shiny object after shiny object. Ego base, ego base, ego base. Bully, bully, bully to suck energy out of people. And this can only go on so long. And at some point in time, we will get to a point of crisis. Okay? And enough. And we know that in the psychotherapeutic world, that breakdown, which eventually leads to breakthrough. At some point, we break down. Hopefully it's before death. But a lot of people don't. They'll only break down at death. And that is unfortunate because I believe the soul came in with stuff to do and got so distracted here, never actually got through. When we break down, we end up going back up to here because we realize that running more businesses, having more cars, owning more business, or controlling more people, manipulating the stock markets, having bigger jets, whatever, independence, look at me, see me, is meaningless. At the end of the day, it's getting back up to there, the integration of I am. That's where we want to be, up there. Okay, so when that breakdown happens, we start doing our hard work, our inner work, the serious work, to return back to the I am, the spiritual journey. And I say for many, it will happen at death, heart attacks, whatever might happen. They'll eventually do it. The rest of us, this community here, of course, have been through this stuff. We're somewhere in this. I'm sure each of you would actually recognize some form of crisis you've been through. Divorce, illness, death, job loss, and so on. And the purpose of doing all of that is, as we say, is to find that place up here of inner peace. Because where inner peace comes from.